question here is worried about the Chiefs after the loss to the Colts, and I'm not at all worried about their offense. I'm worried about their defense. The Indianapolis Colts came in there and controlled the game with their running game, beat up Kansas City. I think the Chiefs have a soft defense. I said it a couple weeks ago. I thought they were going to lose to the Lions. They should have lost to the Lions. I felt like they could lose this game even with all the Colts injuries. Yeah, I'm worried about the Chiefs as a Super Bowl contender.
I'm not worried about them. There's a level of concern, but the thing is, issues up front, offensive line and injuries. Then if you look at the time of possession, once again, I got to bring this up. Colts came in there and they bloodied them right in the mouth. 37-plus minutes time of possession. And there was a critical exchange of possessions where the Chiefs rarely go 3 and out. They went 3 and out. Colts got the ball 14 straight plays, 12 runs.
Yes.
Woo! Now, if you're on Kansas City's defense, I don't give a damn what your talent level is. One, your mind is messed up. We went 3 and out? Oh, God, we got to come back. Gatorade can't even squirt it out. You back on the field, and then they give you 14 and 12 runs in the world. Even though it ended in a field goal, I think that's when things change mentally for this team. You look at the fact that they were without their top 2 receivers, just to be real, because Sammy Watkins went out early in this game. No Tyreek Hill. It's just a lot of issues happening at the same time. So I don't think that this team should be worried about their future success. They will get back on track.
Yeah, I don't think they should be worried because if it's a problem on the offense, I think Andy's going to find a way to fix it. And when you look back at these two teams, they met last year in the playoffs. So they know each other not too well, but they know each other enough. And I guarantee you that the Colts looked at the film and said, okay, we're going to try this type of scheme. And Andy looked at his scheme and what he did last year, what worked in the playoffs, said, okay, we're going to try it this way. And then it didn't work for Kansas City. It worked for the Colts. So, on top of that, with the offensive struggles, it didn't look the same as it did last year, and Patrick didn't look as good as he's looked
offensive
all
line
season.
For the Chiefs to struggle.
But I think the biggest thing they tried to do was keep Patrick Mahomes off the field, run the football, time of possession, keep him on the sideline. That's our best chance of winning. And for them, it was productive because they was able to get Marlon Mack going.
Yeah, and it was good coaching by the Indianapolis coaching staff. So, for sure, they had a good game plan last night, and they executed it perfectly and did what they had to do. That's why they got that win. But going forward, I'm with you with a long-term Super Bowl, because that's what this team is thinking now.
Yeah.
They should have been in the Super Bowl last year.
Right.
If my boy didn't line up in the backfield, that game was over.
Right.
They can get there again. This team is powerful enough. They seem like they're a spitting image of the team that they were last year. The defense is not that good. It is what it is.
Yeah.
If they can just hold people to 27 points, this offense, when healthy, the offensive line's banged up right now. They're going to get Tyreek back. They'll get all their big ballers back.
Sammy.
They're going to put up points. They're going to put up 34 points a game, especially with this kid. And he gets healthy. He was a little hobbled up last night. Who knows what would have happened if he didn't get hobbled up last night? I'm talking about Patrick Mahomes. So I'm not worried about this team. I still have them in the AFC Championship game for sure. But eventually that defense is going to have to stop somebody. But it's not going to be so play. They're going to roll.
Okay, and so they're going to be in the AFC Championship game. You know where that's going to be held?
Yeah.
Foxborough.
Absolutely.
And
that's where it gets scarce.
You're going to and New England will show up with the defense. The Chiefs will not. The Chiefs inside linebackers are collegiate-level inside linebackers. They overpaid for Hitchens. Whoever made that decision needs to be fired. And so the Chiefs have some unfixed. This is 2 straight years. Number 53 has destroyed the Kansas City's defense. It's not a tough unit. The Indianapolis Colts came in there banged up everywhere, and with their offensive line, kicked the butt of the Kansas City Chiefs. And at the end of the day, football, no matter what they do to the rules, it's a game of physicality, and the Chiefs lose. And there's some elite-level teams, and it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen again this weekend with the Houston Texans. They're going to come in there and get them again in Arrowhead. The Colts came in with a banged-up team, and Jacoby Brissett and beat the Chiefs in Arrowhead Stadium, there's a problem.
And it wasn't Jacoby Brissett that beat them. It was the time of possession, Marlon Mack, and that running game. They'll recalibrate. One, they'll get healthy, and 2, they'll recalibrate and get a balanced attack because they didn't run the ball effectively. You talk about the New England Patriots. They have their own issues. Let's talk about late-season Patriots. They're not running the ball like they should. So right now, Tom Brady, who last year, if you look at his playoff run, got worse every single round in the playoffs, and that was at a younger age than it's going to be this year, a year older. So they have their own recalibrations to do. I think it's too early to forecast the doom of this team. With a 14th ranked defense in terms of points allowed, like that's middle of the pack. That's good enough. And it's better than what they had last year. So you give me the same offense or even more firepower and a slightly better defense, this team's in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and when you're talking about the defense, it's funny because Justin Houston, one of the players who I thought was the heart and soul of the Kansas City Chiefs defense over the last couple years, is now with the Indianapolis Colts. So he came into this game fired up with motivation, like, I'm going after Patrick Mahomes. And you probably know him, pretty well, but, it was...
Let me ask you this, Mike.
Defense.
He knew the plays.
Let me ask you this, Mike, and Tony, I want you to respond to this, too. And here's my problem with Andy Reid. Terrific coach and a hell of an offensive coach. But if I'm leading a team, can I really be sitting down on the bench with my quarterback while my defense is playing? It's like Andy Reid pays no attention to the defensive side of the ball. I think that's inappropriate for a head coach.
Well, I think for him to bring in Steve Spagnuolo, who's a creditable defensive coordinator, I mean, you put your trust in him. And Andy knows more than enough about offenses where he can see the flaws on the defense, but it's starting to look like this can't be corrected with this team. They have to clean this up in order to be that championship caliber team and beat New England at the end of the year.
Yeah, and second of all, Andy's probably tired, too. Because he's a big guy.
Yeah.
So he wants to sit down and relax.
Tony, no, Tony.
I was joking, dude.
Tony, that's
right?
the truth. That is the truth. It's untalked about, but trust me, that is the truth.
Oh, well.
Standing for 3 hours.
That's the case, all good. You spending time with your quarterback.
You know what's crazy?
It's the fact.
Tony, you funny.
It's just optics, though. They killed Wade Phillips in Buffalo when I was there, and Wade Phillips got out. And you know what one of the headlines was? He doesn't wear a headset. So how prepared can he have his team if he's not even communicating with his other coach staff? We won 11 games. We won 10 games. We won 8 games. And this is with a team that we lost a lot of Hall of Famers, and we were getting poached left and right. The optics, look, he trusts in his coordinators. I mean, the greatest thing about power is delegation. Like, you got to trust in other people to do their job. So I don't look at that beyond the optics. He's getting his engine ready and revved, and that's the offense of this team.
I'm going to go back to what would Belichick do? What does Sean Payton do? Sean Payton is an offensive guru. Mm-hmm. I don't see him sitting with Drew Brees while the defense is on the field. Sean Payton has his finger and his imprint, and so does Bill Belichick, on everything.
Belichick doesn't count. Payton.
Sean Payton, same deal.
Drew,
Sean McVay. I don't see Sean McVay sitting down, and he's got Wade Phillips.
Yeah. Got me on that.
Well, maybe
I was about to come at Sean Payton.
But we don't know. I mean, who knows what they're saying?
Maybe that's just the coaching relationship.
No. I'm saying
you're talking about from a look, from optical.
No, I'm not talking about
outlooks.
I'm talking about from accountability. You have a defense that's been a problem with your franchise for years, and the head coach is disengaged. How can you hold those defensive players as accountable from that head coaching position if you're not fully engaged?
Well, I think don't tell me he's not watching the film. I'm sure he's watching the film the next day saying, all right.
You remember Dick Vermeil's years in Kansas City?
Yeah.
Yeah. He had the same issue. Over-the-top offense, laissez-faire attitude with the defense. Sometimes you get what you pay attention to, what you're interested in. The guy from that head coaching position. You can't delegate everything.
You get what you give. That's sometimes.
Yeah.
I hear you.
All right.
I ain't care about my head.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. And be sure to check out more of the best clips from Speak For Yourself, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.